Cryptic Media TV.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cryptic coming at you with another news story for today. As we can see in the media that Boris Johnson has been a busybody trying to fight this COVID-19, investing 100 billion of the taxpayers' money to set up weekly testing for every UK citizen. Now let me introduce you to his next line of defence.
The COVID Marshals.
So this one's from the Daily Mail from the 10th of September 2020. Boris admits his new COVID Marshals won't be able to arrest people or issue fines and can be volunteers, as baffled police say they have no idea what their role is. So that's the headline. Good opening gambit. Boris Johnson's much derided COVID Marshals are already up and running in towns across the UK, but critics have been left baffled by what their new role entails. In his downbeat address to the nation last night, the PM announced his new army of COVID secure Marshals will be out in force to catch anyone breaking the rules. But Ken Marsh, chairman of the Metropolitan Police Federation, said rank and file officers have been absolutely baffled by what the Marshals will actually do. The Marshals will have no formal powers to make an arrest and must be paid for by local authorities. They will break up groups of more than 6 in town centres, but must alert police if fines need to be handed out. Mr. Marsh said, any help is good help, but what I'd like to understand is, what actually is their role? What are we asking them to do? Because if they don't actually have any powers, you know what Joe Public will do very quickly? When the stick needs to be wielded, then you will need to have the ability to wield it. The Marshals will be recruited by councils to step up enforcement, patrolling town centres, parks, shopping centres and train stations, issuing advice and encouraging groups to break up. The PM warned they will also check up on pubs and restaurants to make sure social distancing rules are being followed. Among a string of measures announced by Boris Johnson last night, Mr. Johnson revealed ambitious moonshot plans for mass testing. Councils were encouraged to recruit the COVID Marshals who will patrol town centres, issuing advice and encouraging groups to break up. Pubs and restaurants will face £100 fines if they fail to collect contact details of all customers. Wow, that is bizarre. Talk about pressuring businesses. Plans to allow Premier League matches to be held with 25% capacity crowds from next month were put on hold. Health Secretary Matt Hancock urged families not to let grandparents look after their grandchildren. Fuck off. Travellers were warned they could be barred from flights if they fail to fill in a government contact form in advance. Officials were ordered to draw up a list of newly qualified and former environmental health officers who could be drafted in to help councils crack down on businesses breaking the rules. Professor Whitty hinted that more school closures could happen if infections among children rise. The Prime Minister told a press conference on Wednesday the Marshals could boost the local enforcement capacity as he announced new rules designed to slow the spread of coronavirus. But the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government said they would not be given enforcement powers in new legislation banning people in England from meeting in groups of more than 6 from Monday. Metropolitan Police Federation Chairman Ken Marsh added, "Are they for parks? Are they for enclosed areas? I just don't know. No one knows." The Prime Minister told everyone yesterday, as if we all fully understood it. He added, "It won't make any difference to enforcement if you don't have the ability to enforce. If this increases the ability to enforce, then it helps with enforcement, but if they don't have any powers to issue tickets to enforce." Marshals have already been deployed by Leeds City Council and Cornwall Council. Right. Other local authorities will now be encouraged to hire marshals or use volunteers and existing council employees with money from their own budgets. Gerald Vernon Jackson, Liberal Democrat leader of Portsmouth City Council, slammed the introduction of marshals as a knee-jerk reaction from the government. He told the Portsmouth News he knew nothing about the new roles until the PM's address last night. He said, "My worry is having yet another organisation here that could be confusing. My understanding is that the police will have the power to issue on-the-spot fines, but community wardens and other wardens in the city won't have those powers, and that's stupid. It's just knee-jerky stuff from the government because they know they have made a mess of this." Nestle Kaliskan, chair of the Local Government Association's Safer and Stronger Communities Board, said, "We need to quickly see further detail on how the government's COVID-19 Secure Marshals scheme is intended to work, and any new responsibilities for councils in the area will have to be fully funded." A spokeswoman for the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government said marshals would probably wear high visibility clothing to support members of the public in one-way systems and remind them of guidelines. How tedious is this going to get? Other tasks could be to give out masks and hand sanitizer in public places, she added. Legislation set to replace the existing ban on gatherings of more than 30 people, and current guidance on allowing 2 households to meet indoors is yet to be published. People breaching the new restrictions could be fined £100, which will double every subsequent offence up to £3,200. It's all about revenue collection, people, and stripping your rights and getting you used to some bullshit conditioning. The National Police Chiefs Council, NPCC, said police chiefs emphasise on the importance of ensuring the public to understand the rules in place through clear regulations and communication in a meeting with Mr. Johnson. But Mr. Marsh cast doubt on government claims the new legislation will simplify the rules and make enforcement easier. Tell me what's easier or what's simpler with this compared to any of the others, he added. There's got to be some clarity on what they're trying to get across. Marshals are already a presence on Cornwall streets, ensuring people are respecting social distancing. The new marshals work alongside Cornwall Council's public protection officers who have been giving support and advice to businesses on reopening safely in towns and villages across Cornwall. One marshal called Dan said he has been enjoying providing reassurance to some of Cabourn's older residents and getting to know local businesses in the process. So far, most visitors have been really cooperative and do their best to follow the guidelines and respect social distancing, he added. I especially like helping reassure some of our older residents. I've got to know the local businesses and it's great to know they've all been really keen to do what they can to make their customers and staff feel comfortable. Tim Dwelly, Cornwall Council's portfolio holder for the economy, said, the presence of these marshals and our public protection officers play a hugely valuable role in giving a bit of extra help where needed. You can be assured that your safety is top of mind at all times, so do say a friendly hi when you see them. Another part to this article is, so what powers will Boris's army of COVID-secure marshals have? Those breaking the rules can expect a £100 fine from the police, which will then double on each repeat offence up to £3,200, with the COVID marshals also introduced in a bid to improve the enforcement capacity of local authorities. Some councils already have marshals who go to busy areas and give advice if people are not social distancing. They can also explain the rules, such as wearing a face mask on public transport. You know, this is going to get old fast, innit? Especially if you don't want to wear a mask. They cannot fine people, but can alert the police. The move addresses concerns that police were struggling to enforce social distancing rules because they are applied differently in various circumstances. Police have the power to arrest rule breakers if needed, as well as fining them a £100, which will then double on each repeat offence up to £3,200. Recently retired environment health officers will also be drafted in to enforce legislation at pubs and restaurants. The marshals will help enforce social distancing rules and ensure contact details of all customers are collected for the test and trace system. They will patrol parks, shopping centres, train stations and other areas where groups of people are likely to gather in large numbers. I wonder what will happen if you go out to a restaurant and you refuse to give your details for this track and trace. And I'll just finish up with new lockdown rules for England from Monday. Max social gatherings 6 people, applies indoors and outdoors, applies in private homes, applies in pubs and restaurants, does not apply to schools or workplaces, does not apply to weddings, funerals, team sport, does not apply if household bubbles are bigger than 6 people. Police will be encouraged to break up larger groups and issue £100 fines, and you guessed it, that figure will rise to, I'll let you fill in the blank. Wow, it's all just got a little bit more pathetic, hasn't it? So what do you think of these new COVID marshals? I mean, just reading that article, I can almost sympathise with the young kid who's been employed to do this, who doesn't have a clue what's really going on, yeah, who's just thinking, I'm doing a good thing, I'm helping reassure the old people. That's a nice sentiment, I get that. But that's not going to solve this situation, and going up to people and fucking nagging them is only going to provoke people more. I believe this whole situation is the way it's been engineered is to sort of make you lose patience and go nuts. But yeah, I'm just going to blank these lot. If these approach me in the street, I don't involve myself with them, do you know what I mean? Like, hello, bye. That's it, literally. I don't go out much anyway, it probably won't bother me as much. Guys, what are you going to do if you get stopped by one of these in the street? Are you going to acquiesce to their power? Or are you going to tell them to jog on, tell them to stroll on, take a walk, our kid? Let us know in the comment section below. I'd be interested to hear about your thoughts on this. Guys, thanks a lot for listening to the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. It'd really help me out a lot. Thank you guys, take care, and I'll speak to you all soon.